How y'all ladies doing tonight, this evening?
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another episode of Only One Truth. Welcome to another episode of Only One Truth. We got a great topic lined up for you. We're gonna go around right now, give everybody an opportunity to introduce themselves. We're gonna go to I guess it will be my left. Tiva, tell everybody who you are, where you're hailing from.
Hello, everybody. I'm Queen Tiva, all the way down in California in the Antelope Valley. Whoop whoop.
Good deal. And to your left, we have Rico.
The name says Rico Jackson, but it's Obama. Barack from Anderson, Alabama. Rico Jackson from Anderson, Alabama.
Okay, Obama. And right below you, we got Pandora. Pandora, tell everybody who you are, where you're hailing from. Unmute yourself, sis. There you go.
I'm Pandora L. Johnson. I'm from Akron, Ohio, born and raised.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
It could be rhetorical if you wanted to. You don't, what's the L for?
Lanisa.
Lanita. Well, that's one of the fancy names.
Lanisa.
Well, I might not be able to say it right. 'Cause I went to public school. I might not be. I went to public school. I might not be able to say it right. But to her right, I think it's to her right. We have Sharon. Sharon, tell everybody who you are, where you're hailing from.
Hi, this is Sharon Gaylord. I'm calling from Columbia, South Carolina.
Good deal. We got a great topic tonight, and I want to jump right into this thing. We got people commenting already. My everything. Okay. Somebody said my everything. Okay, that's good. We'll figure out what that means in just a minute. I guess it is what it is. Your everything. That's good. It's always good to be your everything. Everything is good. But got a question, and I'm gonna ask this question based on our social media. Based on a lot of things that I see on social media, and it's for my sisters really. And me and Rico, we're gonna talk about it from a male standpoint, what we see. But a lot of times, what happened is I go to a social media site, Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, TikTok, whatever, Instagram, whatever it is, and a lot of my sisters, the first thing they do, they turn around and they put their tail feathers up, and it seems like that's what they're trying to highlight. They're trying to highlight, and my thing is, what is your greatest asset? Is that, do a lot of these sisters, Sharon, and I'm coming to you first, do a lot of the sisters look at that as being their greatest asset? Because that's what it's almost like that's what they're trying to sell. And truth of the matter, let's keep this thing balanced. Back in the 80s, a lot of guys used to get on they didn't have social media and all that stuff, but they used to take pictures and they always grabbing their junk. And so, and during that time, that's what they were doing. They would get on, they would take pictures, and in those pictures, you'll see them grabbing their junk. Now the ladies are, because of social media, they putting their tail feathers up and they're twerking, and that's all they're selling. And my question is do they think that is their greatest asset? Sharon, what do you say to that?
Unfortunately, I think that with the younger generation, they seem to think that that's an asset that they can use to get more attention or whatever. But sadly, it's not. I mean, I think that your mind is the most important part of everything. But with this generation, that's what they do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's almost impossible. It's honestly speaking, it's kind of refreshing to go to a young lady's on social media, go to her page or whatever, and she's not doing that. It's almost refreshing to see that she's talking about something intellectual, and she's letting her mind show that I have intelligence. That's not all I have. Pandora, what do you say to that?
I totally agree with Sharon. Your body is only going to get you so far. These young girls don't realize that sooner or later they're going to be 60 or 70. And if they're not working out and taking care of themselves, that body is not going to be there. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I totally agree. Your mind, as that commercial used to say, your mind is a terrible thing to waste with the owl in the commercial years ago. Your mind is a terrible thing to waste. That is your greatest asset. Your mind will take you further and further than your body ever will. May get you a man for a night or two, but that mind is what is going to stick around and help you gain things and move forward. And
Mm-hmm. Exactly, exactly. Tiva, what do you say to that, man? A lot of these ladies, that's what they do, man. You go to their social media and they'll look at you, then they'll turn around and they'll poke it out and they'll shake it and they'll do all kind of things. It's like that's what that's their selling point. They feel as though that's all they have. So, Tiva, what do you say to that?
Well, it just depends on which age group that you're speaking of, because the young folks, they like to do that, show off their body, their waistline. You know what I mean? They work what they have, you know what I'm saying? Versus an older woman or a middle-aged woman, they're going to be, trying to show their personality, their business mind, the things that they have accomplished in their lives. And they also show their bodies too. Let's not get it twisted, but they
Mm-hmm.
do it in a more tasteful way. They might wear their clothes a little bit tighter or have their breasts propped up a little bit more, but not showing too much. So I think women in general love to use what they have to, access their beauty. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but if you do it in good taste, you don't have to show your whole behind. You know what I'm saying? Just being naked and stuff like that. But I think every woman in any age group wants to show their beauty, not necessarily their body, what I'm saying, but just their assets. It could be their eyes. It could be, their hair. It could be the way they dress. You know what I'm saying? A woman that's who we are. We want to show our beauty and our mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
all of it.
yeah, and I could definitely agree with that. I can definitely agree with that, but at the same time, I know what I see, and when I see it, and you say the younger generation, sometimes some of these ladies could be 40, close to 50 years old, and they're doing the same thing. I'm like, what,
Yes, yes, they are.
what is really going on? I'm like, there's more to you than that. There's more, and there's more
Right.
to you. And my thing is, Rico, I'm gonna go ahead and say this right here, man. If that's all you have to offer, then we really don't have anything. Because once that the horizontal mumble is done, we can't talk, we can't communicate, we don't have nothing. So Rico, what do you say to that?
That's the new first impression now.
Mm-hmm.
Go there first, and then they see if everything else work out from there. But we in a quick and convenient society. They like to cut to the chase real quick. So they already say that. Well, what's the odds of me spending 14 years or 15 years with somebody that I am not sexually compatible with?
Mm-hmm.
They thinking about that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we got to understand some of these people look back upon their parents and grandparents and understand why divorces happen. Some people did stay with people back in the day because it was better for the family or whatever. But now they thinking about themselves. They thinking, well, can I stay 20 years with somebody that's impotent? Or can I with a woman 20 years that's dry, that doesn't have, has a moisture problem, and whatever sexual problem that she may have. So there's so many different, issues that sort of warrants why they think the way they think, but they don't have any code of ethics with it. I mean, I can understand that thought process, but at the same time, you still got to take the fun out of it. Take the just the experience part out of it, because they still laying down with people that they don't really have a bond with. No, with. It's just a matter of, am I attracted to her? Am I attracted to him? Or I heard they working with this and that. I want to see.
Mm-hmm. Rico, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question real quickly, Rico. 9 times out of 10, am I correct to say that if you see somebody on social media, and we're not talking about us personally, but as a whole, see somebody on social media and she's displaying that as an asset, she's selling you that. Once you get with her and you obtain and you capture, because men love to chase and they capture. Once they do that and they get into the horizontal mumble, what's the odds of them staying with that person?
It's some slim odds. It's
Yeah.
some slim odds. I mean, because I can say that some people are so superficial to the point to where they can be attracted to that person's body. They might work out a lot or whatever, and that's their goal is fitness. But it's a sexual attraction too. So they are sexually attracted to fit people, and they have to meet this one woman that has this body that just she's amazing. They might be hooked with her on her for that one reason. Same thing with a woman for a man. She might like his eyes. You remember the guy that went to prison and then he he got a contract from his eyes.
Yeah.
The dark skin guy had 2 different colored eyes. Both I got contract, and one of them actually married a billionaire heiress.
Yeah.
Sick. Because he looked good. It didn't matter that he was a repeat offender, that he was a career criminal. He was good. And I bet we made some pretty babies.
And wow, I was about to say something. I'm not going to go there. Sharon, what's on your heart? I was about to say something. Whoa, I'm glad I caught myself on that one. Lord Jesus. Whoa, thank you. Sharon, what's on your heart?
Yeah, Rico, I do agree with you on everything you just said. Absolutely. A lot of times it is about the looks, but once you do the, like Raheem says, the horizontal rumble, there's nothing left. I mean, if you're not satisfied with that person, then you're gonna move on, and it's really a waste of time. But how many times you gonna take and do that before you finally find what you're looking for? So I think that women should treasure their body. I always say my body is my temple, and I'm not gonna let anybody misuse my temple.
Yeah.
More people should think along that line instead of letting themselves getting used up and washed away for the next person through and do the same thing. It's really truly a mental thing.
Exactly.
Mental mind is messed up, then everything else will be. So you got to value yourself. Until you start valuing yourself, everything else is going to be a wash.
And Pandora, and I love what she just said, and it's so true. There's so much truth tied into what she just said. Is it a value system? Do you think most of the women that's actually getting up there doing these things, are they devaluing themselves and not realizing exactly who they are or what they have to offer?
I think they are. I think right now we actually, in a way, if you think about it, we went back in society. You know, years ago when we all were coming up, the thin models in those magazines and everything, of course, not in Ebony and Essence, but in the white magazines, they were size 4s, they were size 10s, 12s, but they were scantily dressed and everything. And now what my daughter was just talking about this the other day, the millennial generation, they are like that. But I think that they don't value what they really have. And they don't value their mind. They don't value, I think we give so much to our children sometimes that they don't feel like they have to work to get it anymore sometimes. So, you know, we're talking about women, but men are the same way with the pants hanging down, you know. So I think that they don't value themselves. They don't value their worth enough to not do the things that you're talking about doing. But I also want to touch on something that Tivia said about the older women. Sometimes, you know, they dress a little wild too and showing their bodies. I actually had somebody, I don't know this person, message me because they seen one of these podcasts on Facebook, and they wanted to know why I had on a tank top. And I'm like, well, first of all, none of your business, but the reason why, and I meant to not do it today, but I got caught up in trying to pack and everything. But I told him, I said, the reason why is because I work from home and that's what I'm comfortable in. I'm comfortable in a tank top and some shorts. And I don't care if it's 5 degrees outside, I got on a tank top and some shorts or a tank top and some leggings. If I run out the house right now to go get something, I have on a tank top and shorts. That's what I'm comfortable in. That's like my go-to wear just to be around the house. So I do agree with you, Tiva, that, you know, as women, I mean, older women in our 50s, we do dress a certain type of way. The question is, why are we dressing that way? I know I dress that way because I like the way I look in the clothes, but I don't dress to where this is hanging out and that's hanging out. I mean, it's just the way I like to dress. I dress with stuff that fits my shape. And I think a lot of these times, these women, whether they're in their 20s or 30s, or if they're in their 50s, I know one woman, she don't ever wear nothing to fit her shape. Everything that she wears, it doesn't fit. But I see a lot of people saying she look nice in it. So I'm like, okay, I may screenshot it and send it to my daughter and say, what you think? So I think a lot of times, sometimes it don't have nothing to do with lack of self-esteem or self-worth. They say, I got the money to buy it. They selling it in my size. So I'm gonna buy it because I like the outfit. Now, as far as them doing all that twerking and stuff, I can't answer that. But that's what I was told. I've told a girlfriend of mine, "Are you sure you want to wear that? We're going out. Are you sure?" And we get out, and they be like, "You went out with her looking like that?" She told me she bought it. They had it in her size, and that's what she wanted to wear. And that's what I got from an older person, somebody my age. So
Wow.
that's how they feel.
We got somebody said something on Facebook here. Rico, read that for us, brother.
If you're a believer, women need to remember that we are ambassadors of a different kingdom, and we represent who and what Jesus is. Yes, women have assets, but we need to remember we cannot use those assets as manipulative tools to acquire the things that we want or need. The Lord God Almighty provides all of us those things. I'm not saying that you can't wear something that accentuates your figure, but we have to be mindful that the exposure can also be temptation to another person, and we are not, I guess, to be continued.
Yeah, exactly. But that's all that's there. So I don't know what the to be continued part is. That's the end of it. But what do you say to that? We have a call. We got to go to the 803 call in just 1 sec. What do you say to that, Rico? Unmute. There you go.
That's very true. I mean, we gotta hold everything for what it really is. I mean, some things are sexually attractive, and some behaviors are sexually deviant behaviors, such as twerking, all the time. And don't get me wrong, I ain't finna sit up and act like I don't look. But at the same time, when I look, I know I ain't sitting up here thinking, "Oh man, she looks very intelligent." I bet she'll cook a nice dinner.
Yeah.
Nothing about that. Look at that thing rolling. You get what I'm saying? And so I'm glad Pandora brought that up, because these guys are just as bad. I mean, they got their whole butts out, the whole butt out now.
Yeah.
We went from slacking to going below the waist, and then for some reason, that line of discernment, just the lines got blurred, and women started feeling like they could dress the way men dress. I first started noticing it with gangbanging. Mentality and that behavior, it was a certain way that the gangbangers acted, and then I started seeing women saying and doing the same thing, and I'm like, wait a minute, that don't sound too feminine. It sort of sound delusional, like something ain't right up there. And little we've been seeing women adapt men's behavior. Dude, bro, you call the man you love, bro. You call you got children with, dude. Nicki Minaj told women to suck her. Man, that don't make sense. You put that in a song. So it's like we taking the most illogical things, especially the new generation. They take the most illogical things and embracing it as like it's actually something that can be true, or just something out of their imagination that they just want to say it because it sounds good. But they got to understand, you got to have a code of ethics with that. It needs to have a rhyme or reason with it, some kind of logic. You just can't be saying it and doing it just because it's fun, or just because it looked good, or that's what everybody's doing. Because some people take it differently. Some people take it for face value. And it's simple-minded, I talk about superficial, but really the other way of understanding what superficial is simple-minded. The simple form, simple way that you could do something or embrace something, the easiest way. That's a very superficial way.
Absolutely. We got a caller from the 803 number, but we got two callers, and so we're gonna get to those callers in just 1 second. But we got two other posts. I want to make sure I put these posts up here. This one says, we're gonna go to Rico, our local reader. Read that one right there.
Okay, and a men need to be responsible for their own. I'm gonna try to dress this up. I think I know the thing. And a man needs to be responsible for their own actions and thoughts.
Okay. Next one.
I think that goes to the end of that other one.
Yeah, it's a different person, but they're responding on what the last person has said.
Okay.
And this is another one right here. Then we're gonna go to the caller. So y'all go ahead, Rico.
The Black woman and her physical features are what society has finally come to the realization of what is true beauty. That's true. Years ago, Black women's features were looked down upon. Now it's the fad. It's the standard. It's what everyone wants and desires. Some black women have used it to their advantage and some have abused it. Regardless, the younger generation is fixated on physical features versus intelligence. Man, they know how to
True.
Tiva,
True.
speak on that, Tiva, and then we're gonna go. We got 2 callers, so callers will come to you next, and then we're gonna Tiva, you speak, then we're gonna go to the callers, and then I can't wait to see. I see Sharon and Pandora. Boy, they got something on their heart right now. I can't wait to get it out. So Tiva, what's on your heart?
Well, just to that last statement, I really believe that women are fixated, especially black women, you know, women of color are fixated on their bodies because for so long we've been told that we were not beautiful. Every time you pick up a magazine, it was a white woman, a skinny white woman, thin nose, you know, blonde hair, and black women was looked at as ugly. Your nose too big, your butt too big, you're too fat, you know. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a beautiful thing to black women, but they do go overboard with it, you know, to the point where they're getting their butt implants and stuff like that. So you got to have a balance. You know, you can feel beautiful about yourself because I believe God wants you to. God created a woman. He gave her, you know, her features and everything because he know that women are beautiful and they love to, you know, dress nice and do their hair and makeup and all of that kind of things. But you also have to have a brain on top of that, you know, have some skills, have a career on top of everything because once that body fades, and you have nothing else to give, you can't give your body because you know, looks fade now. But if you don't have nothing to offer that man, what do you have to make go get up and walk and go get something else? So you got to have the complete package in this day and time. It's okay to look beautiful and feel good about yourself, but have something else to go along with it.
So you're saying that sometimes these men might want to turn you in for a newer model.
Yeah, I mean, if that's all you have to give is your body, because the men get bored of looking at you, because you know, women come a dime a dozen. What's between their legs come a dime a dozen. You know what I'm saying? It's the same model God gave everybody, the same functionality. So you have to have something more to give to that man. Like, do you have a good conversation? You know, can you help him meet the demands of life? You know, we're supposed to be a helpmeet to our spouses. So can you help him meet the demands of life? Because you can't be in the bed all day. You got to get up and live. You got to get up and communicate. You got to get up and pay bills, live life together. So you got to have more than just your looks. That alone is not going to keep a man. I'm sorry to tell you that, ladies. It's not. It's not.
Exactly. We got we got 803 area code. Area 803. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Sean calling from Columbia.
Hey, Sean, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I am doing well. Hope you're doing well as well. We're asking the question: what is your greatest asset? Now, what do you say about all these ladies that getting on social media, and instead of elevating or showing their mind and all the things that they can bring to the table, they immediately turn around and started shaking and twerking and that's their selling point. That is what they feel is their greatest asset. What do you say to that?
I say that that's what society has made them, sex sales. You can get on Facebook and social media and have the best quotes and speak life into people and things like that, and you might get 4 or 5 likes. And however, somebody who would a twerk video gonna get 20,000 views, and that's gonna go viral. So I mean, I think that's the day and age that we're living in. We're not living in morals and what our grandparents, have taught us. We're living in what is the quickest way to get seen and what is the quickest way to advance to what's considered the next social level. And so that's what they put out there, and it's working. Until it stops working, that's what's going to continue to happen.
That kind of goes back to the old days back in the them dating myself, but they had a song that said, "I gotta have a job if you want to get with me. You gotta have a job," and that y'all know how the song. I ain't gonna sing it. Look at it. I see Pandora. She over there. She remembers. She remembered back in the day. Pandora, what's on your heart? We got another caller. Hold on. We come to you next. Pandora, what's on your heart? Pandora, as soon as I go to her, she froze. See, look at that. There you go. Unmute yourself, sis.
You gotta have some type of conversation. I mean, your biggest asset is always going to be your mind. It's never going to be your body. I mean, unless you're a model. Even when you're a model, you got to work hard to keep that asset going because there's still some younger, more beautiful person that's coming along, and that's going to take your place. So even then, still, your mind is still your biggest asset because you got to figure out how to shine above everybody else so you can stay out there in front. No matter
Mhm.
what, intelligence is always the key. Common
Yeah.
sense, intelligence. Your body is not ever your biggest asset. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of one situation where it is.
Mm-hmm. Now, Sharon, where you got the young ladies out here, and they really have their mindset on the fact that that is their greatest asset, and they're going to lure and grab somebody because of that, because they have this body at 23, 24, 25 years old. They think they're going to grab somebody, and their body's going to get them and keep them. Sharon, what do you say to that person?
I think that'd be the biggest mistake that they could make. These
Mm,
young women these days need to really get in tune with not their bodies, but with their minds. And they need to start thinking, further into the future, not about what's going on right now, the here and now, because here and now would be gone tomorrow. So
mm-hmm.
rather than keep on using their body to get the things that they think they need right now and selling themselves short, and they need to take and do a better job of taking care of their mind, making sure they can secure their future. Because once that body gone, unless they got a good job that they can take care of themselves, and when that man get tired of that body, he's gonna walk away. Then what
Mm-hmm.
do they have left? They have nothing. So they need to start thinking more about what's gonna become, what's becoming in the future for their lives.
And I
Exactly.
think Sharon just said something that made sense. She said they're thinking about the here and now. They're not thinking about the future.
Mm-hmm.
20 years from now is so far off to them because 20 years from now was so far off to us when we was 23, 24.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
future is so far off, just like Sharon said, they're not thinking about the future. They're thinking about here and now.
Mm-hmm.
Am I too
Exactly.
loud?
Mm-hmm. No, 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 no. I was just making sure that the sound was coming through. No, you good. One thing I want to go back and then we'll go to my caller. Boy, if I do something else, and then we'll go to my caller. But what happens in a situation where a mother is telling her daughter, and I'm trying to be as clean and well probably as I can with this thing. But if a mother is telling her daughter because her mother told her that you're sitting on your gold mine, you got to use what you got to get what you need. There's some situations where that's ideology is passed down, where a lady and a mother is telling or aunt or something like that is telling her you're sitting on a gold mine. Go out there and use it to get what you want. Sean, what happens in that instance?
Whew,
Come on, only one truth, right?
it's only one truth.
Okay.
Sadly, Raheem, you know what? I've had a friend of mine that told me that was said to her before, from
Wow.
her mom. Her mom, but that's the life that her mom lived. Her mom was,
Hmm.
I say, a gold digger. She was
Hmm.
always trying to get the best, get the older man. She looked for that sugar daddy, somebody that can take care of her. And that's what she implanted in her child's mind. You need to you need to think up or think older in order to get what you want to get, rather than making that baby reach, into her own life to get the right things.
Hmm.
It's sad that when parents do that, but there are some parents. I mean, you got people, some of the models, they've been told the same thing by their parents. The stars, they've been told the same thing. They've been pretty much prostituted out there in order to take and get more, and their parents tell them to look the other way when the
Hmm.
parents should be there trying to pull them back out of that life. But you do have some people out there, some parents that are out there are like that, sadly. But you do.
Yeah. And that's hurtful to think that a parent will put their child in a situation like that. That's hurtful because the streets are vicious, man. They're
Mhm.
vicious out there. We got another caller from the 443 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Dun, dun, dun. Got to have J-O-B. What's up, Ryan? What's
Oh
going
Lord,
on, man?
this dude come in here
It's Kurt.
saying, Lord, what's up, Kurt? How you doing, brother? Man, what do you say, Kurt?
Man, you know, planted that song in my head, man. That song had the hottest beat, man, ever.
Yes, sir.
Woo! I think I'm gonna play it when I get off the radio.
What do you say? What do you say to the young ladies, Kurt? Because I'm sure you see it all the time, brother. You have people that's actually young ladies that's on social media, and the first thing they want to do is turn around and twerk and drop it and do all these kind of things, trying to lure somebody in. Kurt, do they understand their value?
They may understand the immediate value,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't. They don't understand the long term dividends.
Mm-hmm.
Because listen, and my thought is don't twerk for the day. You
Mm-hmm.
better twerk for the next decade.
Mm.
If that's what you choose to do, you might want to be twerking just so that you can get some things that's going to sustain you when the twerk ain't popular no more.
But Kurt,
Because it's
my
going to come a
thing,
time where that's not going to be popular.
no, and my thing is this right here, man. Here I go, Lord Jesus, y'all help me. But don't nobody want to see no 70-year-old woman twerking. What's she gonna do when she's 20 or 25? It may look appealing to a part of the masses, but when she's 60 and 70 years old, Kurt, I don't think nobody's it ain't gonna rain the same,
Well,
bro.
that's what I'm saying, brother.
Mm-hmm.
If
I
you
know.
twerk in the day,
Mm-hmm.
like I remember when I first left in '91, I ran across so many girls that was working in strip clubs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those same girls that was working in strip clubs, when you had a conversation with them, they was going to college during the day, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I met so many law students in the strip clubs back in the day. They was putting themselves through school. They was putting themselves through law school. They was putting themselves through nursing school. I even met a few that was putting themselves through medical school, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain level of what I think is reality that people have to face. Although it may hurt, it may be inconvenient, but you got to face it. One is gravity will eventually catch you at some point, some shape, some form, some way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be able to do the things that you would do when you're 20. At 30, you're not going to be able to do the things you do at 30 when you're 40. You're not going to be able to do all the things that you would do at 40 at 50. So that goes on. So, what I say is devaluing. Yeah, it could be for the long term. But I mean, how many people in today's world or today's society is really looking at the long term?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most of the kids, if you really think about it, most of the kids that are 20, if you think about it, most of the kids that's 20, 4 years ago, they were 16.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 years ago, in their minds, they was going to be dead before they was 18.
Wow.
So the idea, dealing with the population that I deal with on a daily and constant basis, the idea is to get immediate gratification and get it now because I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow.
There, in a lot of time in their mindset, there is no tomorrow. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, I really think it's just it boils down to every generation of youth don't really understand how fast time flies. So they live their youth and then they think, well, I got time to play around. I got time to live this type of lifestyle. You only have a few that really take off and start running with life the way they're supposed to. But for the most part, you have those that feel like, man, 20 years from now is a long time from now. But they don't realize tomorrow is another day closer to those 20 years. And before you know it, a year has passed, 2 years have passed, 3 years have passed. They've been living this lifestyle. When I dropped out of college, I was supposed to just been selling dope for a year and getting back in. I ain't made college yet. Here I was like, one more year.
Yeah.
So, they get caught up in that lifestyle, and then some people really don't, they're so lost in reality that they don't realize that their time is passing by. So now they still dancing. They're still looking in the mirror thinking they can compete. They've turned years old, taking pictures in their outfits, talking about some Mr. Thickness for me, but really and truly, that's a bunch of chubbiness and flab. It ain't thickness. But you're trying to keep up with these young girls. You don't want to let go of the past. That's another thing too, is that, they are mad at us because they realize we don't want to let our heyday go. So what they're doing, they're exceeding our levels, whatever we consider as our glory days, our heyday. If it was Luke Skywalker too short, they surpassing that
Mm-hmm.
to another level, because that's what every generation is supposed to do. But we going in the wrong direction, or they're going in the wrong direction. Instead of them progressing further technology wise and education wise, they're surpassing us in deviant behavior.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're digressing and remembering, like you said, the heydays, man. When I was in high school, I was the best football player, I was the best sport athlete. Man, come on, you ain't hit no nothing. You ain't hit. I think I done froze on you. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
you froze.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You on the
Okay.
way.
Cool.
You on the way up out of here.
Yeah. Good deal, Pandora. Before I go, what's on your heart? Says Pandora might be froze too.
No,
Pandora, you
I'm
there?
back now. I don't know what
Okay.
happened. I lost connection. I've been losing connection all day.
Oh no, we good.
So I don't really know what the conversation has been for the last 5 minutes, but
Well, let's
but
just
I
let's
think
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead, sis.
I think at one point in time, while we're sitting here talking about this, while I was trying to get my connection back, I think at one point in time, being truthful as a woman, we've all at one point in time said, "Oh, this is what I got. Huh? What can I do with it?" But then it all depends on how long you act like that to change your ways and go ahead and move forward with your direction and what you need to do. I mean, when you're growing up, you don't really realize what it is. Like when you're in high school and you're in college, you don't really realize how you're built, why all these men are coming at you. You're not advanced enough to realize that men are very visual people, and that the way you look, the way you built, the clothes you wear. Only thing my mom them ever told me was, you're gonna be walking around here wearing that tight stuff. Don't say nothing if somebody try to get you. You know what I mean? But it's like, okay, well, why are they trying to get me? I wasn't clued in. I mean, it wasn't until I think it was like when we were overseas, me and Sharon, we were in Okinawa, that I realized, oh, okay, so that's why they doing this. Because I do have an extra large part of my body. And so it's like, that's the first thing when people see me, that's the first thing they see. And I wasn't figuring that out at the time. So there is sometimes a truth to women using things to manipulate. And I think at one point in time, all of us have done it. I mean, I'm just being honest. All of us have done it to manipulate. I think we were much younger when we did. At least I hope we were much younger when we did it. And I wasn't even realizing, because my grandfather was a pimp. And I would go to California and hang out with him. And he was always very close with me, saying, no, you better watch this, you better watch that. But you being like you are, but you being the way you built, you need to watch this, you need to watch out for this. I was going in one ear and out the other. I wasn't paying attention. But at one point in time, and I don't know if this was said, we all have done it. It's just that it's how you evolve and move forward with your life to realize, this is what I need. There's so much more out there. This is what I need to do. And hopefully these people that we were talking about earlier, the millennials, hopefully, they're 20, 24, 25 years old. They'll start turning things around and realize there's more out there for me. I do have a brain. I did make good grades in high school. College is not that difficult. Let me go back to school. Let me stay in school. Let me graduate. Let me make a difference. Hopefully they realize that. And then they'll have more to use except for their bodies. Sharon, it looked like you got to take over.
I'm sitting here listening to you because I do agree with that. I think that the younger generation is also some of the older generations, we need to take and think past the body scenes and look at the values of everything that's going on in our lives and try to do better. But so many of us, so many people I say us, have gotten lost along the way. You think that your body is going to give you this, and you don't think about what you truly need to do in order to take and get your life where it is, because it ain't about the body, it's about the mind and how far you can go with it. So
exactly,
people
exactly. I mean, right now, most of us, I just had my tax guy and an accountant do a deep dive into my finances. It's like, okay, I'm ready to retire. I don't want to be doing this too much longer, working at FedEx. So My thing is, if I was just using my body to do all this, how much longer would I have gotten as far as I have? You know, would I have a new truck sitting out there in my driveway?
Yeah.
Would you know, would I have or be able to travel on the whim? Like I'm about to go somewhere tomorrow. You know, my parents say they want to go somewhere. Okay, let me take you. You know, would I be, and that's what people need to think about. Would I be able to do the things that I want to do? Because that's my goal. Being rich is not a goal for me. Being comfortable and able to do the things that I want to do when I want to do it is.
That's
My
right.
body ain't gonna never get that from me. Never. And I think that's the message that needs to be out of there. Twerking and them moves and everything is fine, but what is it going to get you in 20 years?
Exactly, exactly. And see, and that's the whole thing right there. A lot of times, people it's a short term. They have them short term. They fixate on them short term goals, and they don't look at down the road. What's going to happen when I'm 30, 40, 50 years old? How am I going to maintain what I'm trying this lifestyle that I'm trying to acquire right now? How am I going to keep it? How and that's one of the things, Sharon, that they're missing. That's one of the things that I think they're really missing. What's on your heart? Rico, come to you next.
Yeah, I do, Raheem. I think that they're missing a lot of, because a lot of our kids these days, because they're spoiled. A lot of them, as parents, we've overcompensated for them to give them more than what, sometimes more than what they actually need and deserve. So you got a lot of kids out there that are not out. They're not out there trying to take and do everything because they look to mom and dad to take and give them that backup. You don't let them fall. And I think that a lot of that, some of that is our fault because of what we've done, and unless you let them go, let them fall, let them fail, then they're gonna always be in the same situation. Parents nowadays, they don't talk about the retirement, what you need to take and do to set yourself up to get there. Because a lot of parents themselves are not doing what they need to do to get there. And then, they're 50, 60, 70 years old saying, God, I still got to go to work. When if they had sat back and actually 20 years back, started preparing themselves for it, then they would be in a better place. So kids these days, they don't look at the next, 20 years down the road. They look at the here and now. They live for today, not tomorrow. And until they start living for tomorrow, the situation is never going to change.
Exactly. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, from the man point of view, I think we have to accept a lot of accountability for the atmosphere that exists too. You listen to a lot of women talk. You got a lot of angry women. They might not let you know that they're angry, but you hear it in the conversation. Oh, that's the type of woman he gonna cheat on me with. I might as well be just like her. They cheat on us with whores. Oh, that's the type that you like, the body style. You like a loud, ratchet woman. I mean, they look at this type of stuff. You got good women that's losing men to bad women. The good women, by floozies. Floozies, they dress like Jessica Rabbit or Betty Boop or whatever. The most scary thing you could think of, they flaunt those things. They're doing the ones that looking back at it like Jocelyn.
Yeah.
So, the women that's good, just like the good guys. Listen, I'm that good guy that saw the good girls wanted the dope boy. The job that I was working with, making enough money for me to be able to keep up with the dope boy in college. So I lowered my standards. I threw the code of victims out the window and lowered my standards. So that's what has happened. Women lower their standards because they started feeling like that's what a man wants. If that's what he's gonna cheat. I was a good woman. I cooked for him. I bathed his bath water for him. I rubbed his feet. He didn't have to worry about nothing. Anytime he asked for it, I gave it to him. He still went and cheated on me. Why? Who? That floozy with 5 kids and 5 different baby daddies just looking back at it at the club. So now they feel like 2 wrongs don't make it right, but it make it easy.
Wow.
I'm in the playing field. Now I can compete. Now I can get some justice. But they still don't realize it's a lot. It's not that simple. It's a little bit more complicated than that. But at the same time, that's fast and temporary and convenient. That is gonna be out the door soon. And both of them actually gonna end up losing because she gonna find another man that can provide a little bit more. But we lowered our standards. The code of ethics changed. we used to hold ourselves accountable and would not cross a certain line. It used to be a point in time that if a woman chose a man that had money, he still had to have some kind of standard. You know, it wasn't just, you know, you could do anything just to have money. You could be a dope dealer or a pimp as long as you got money. In the past, you had to be a certain type of man of standard that protect. Now, everything is out the window because we want material and superficial things. And we're going to have to look at capitalism and see what capitalism did. What capitalism made beautiful and acceptable on TV. Who did they put on TV to market things and that's the idea of beautiful? The straight hair, the blue eyes. This is beautiful. Jane Kennedy, this is beautiful. So we got to look with capitalism did and the media.
Exactly. Tivo, are you with us? Tivo, are you there?
Rico.
Okay, let's go to Sean. Sean, are you back with us? We had a little technical difficulty, but are you back with us, sis?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, what's on your heart?
So I got back during his conversation. I'm not sure what was the question.
Well, we still pretty much on the same place. What is your greatest asset, and why are so many people so sidetracked into thinking they could use their physical attributes instead of their mental abilities to go and obtain the things that we want? We get so sidetracked sometimes. Why y'all laugh? Go ahead, Sean.
Okay, I had to make sure because we will shift to the far right or far left real quick. So I had to make sure we were still talking about the same thing.
Yes.
But yes, I mean, I think that even when you were speaking about how some women have been told that use what you got to get what you want. I think that this whole situation, this isn't new. It's new because social media has brought it to the front line for women to be able to be on, everybody's front screen and it's twerking. But you have people, from way back who they were always the auntie who didn't have kids, but always the auntie that possibly had a different man, or or the person who had multiple children with multiple different women, or the person who always went for the dope boy because that's what they could, that's who always had the most money. Like this is deeply engraved in definitely our society. I don't know about other communities, but definitely in our society, and we have not really switched to change the narrative because now it's more so in the forefront. Women still run after those same people. Men still run after, people who have, the big butts versus the person who you never know because from face value, they might not be what you look at up to par. So, I mean, I think it's just something that we're still having to work through, and it's definitely not going to be an overnight situation.
I got a thing I see on the Morning Glow all the time, and I see sometimes us men get caught up with the big butt, baby hair, and a smile. Big butt, baby hair, and a
That's
smile.
right.
That hits you every time. That big butt, baby hair, and a smile. I see you over there, Pandora. What's on your heart?
Don't let her have no pretty eyes. Don't let her have no pretty eyes.
Oh man, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I'm in love.
Oh, she got them cat eyes. She got them cat eyes.
I'm in love.
Sharon,
I love that
Sharon.
one.
So I guess between me and you, we the perfect one. You got the eyes and I got the other thing, huh?
Lord.
No, I mean, this has been interesting. But I do, if I may ask a question. So we're
Absolutely.
talking about the women with all these assets that they're using, to manipulate and to get what they want and everything. And like you said at the beginning of the show, this was mainly for the women. The men had a couple of things to talk about. But what about all the women that's going, and I think this was mentioned earlier, to get their assets increased, to get the fake butt, to get the fake boobs, to shrink that waistline, they're paying all these money to do that. Then they're going back to AMHA housing and they're going back to the projects. What do you men think about that?
I think that I can't take them to the cookout. They can't get you close to the fire. I'm,
Look away.
I can't take him to the cookout. No. Mm-mm.
You know what? I feel sorry for women.
Mm-hmm.
I feel sorry for women. Women got it rough, and the struggle that black women have gone through throughout history of trying to be accepted or accept themselves as beautiful. That self-respect. Now they got to compete with men.
Wow.
They competing with men that's getting surgeries. They
Mm-hmm.
pick up on like men. Just think about it. At one point in time, men were doing drag to look like women. Now women are putting on makeup to look like other women.
Mm-hmm.
They got a heck of a job on them just trying to compete, just to be superficial to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But
Just
you
to
know
be
what?
beautiful.
I have several friends, and I am single. I am single. So I have several friends that I know that are just got married, happily married, um, been married for years. They're lovey-dovey. I mean, they're all that. Their husbands is still posting about them. They do things for their wives. I mean, they are in love. They don't have the Coke bottle shape. They don't have they don't dress, scantily, with all the body parts showing out. I mean, showing and everything. So if anybody who gets this on Facebook and sees it and listens to it, if you're young, if you're older, you don't have to dress that way. These people that I know, it's all about the connection. The
Mm-hmm.
things, the extra stuff that you do between you and your partner, that's what it's about. It's not about the clothes that you put on and what you're doing. And, before you get him and you're out there and you're showing your body and you doing this and you doing all that and you twerking. It's not about all that. It's not
Mm-hmm.
about all that. That Coke bottle shape is out the door now. This is 2021. Women like big men like big women. It all depends on what your preference is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize. People have different preferences. Just because you're built like a brick house doesn't mean that everybody, they may look at you, but don't mean they want you. Like you
Mm-hmm.
guys said, they might want you for one night, but that's all they want, just to say they had you. But it's the person inside, the brain, the person inside, the not just the intelligence, but how you treat people. That all comes out too. Don't nobody want somebody that's gonna treat somebody bad, step
Yeah.
over you if you on fire. Don't nobody want that. I
Exactly.
may get my nails messed up. These are acrylics. Uh-uh.
Shan, what's on your heart?
I mean, I'm sitting here listening to Dolly, listening to Pandora talk and everything she's saying. But society has made women think that they need to make these changes.
Yeah.
Made women feel like unless you got the big butt or the big boobs, the tiny waist, the long hair or short hair, that you're not good enough. So a lot of women have fallen, their self-esteem has gone down so low because they want to be accepted. And
Mm-hmm.
that's because of the people that they're around, the things that they're hearing, the things that they see. They feel that way when they don't realize, you're already beautiful. If somebody
Mm-hmm.
makes you feel that way, then you need to take and get rid of that person. Don't let anybody talk down to you and make you feel like you're not good enough. And until women start feeling self-assured and their self-esteem comes up and they start feeling good about themselves, they're going to continue to do these surgeries and continue to take and reach
Mm-hmm.
out for the bad boys, when
Mm-hmm.
the best thing that probably could have happened to them is standing right there in front of them, but they don't
Yep.
see it because they don't have the confidence in themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
until they learn to love themselves and have that confidence, they're not going to see anything good anytime.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times those bad boys, if you didn't know they was a bad boy, thug, whatever, living that life, if you walk down the street, you wouldn't even give them a second look because they don't look like anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the beauty, the attraction comes from within the person. Think about people that you've dated, that you've had actual relationships with. Were they knocked down, dragged down? I mean, were they just fine? I mean, they might have been, but I know some of the people I dated, they wasn't like gorgeous fine, but
Mm-hmm.
their personality made them sexy as hell
That's
or
right.
made them handsome. You know what I mean? It's that inside that person.
Yeah. But how often is it? And I'll go to Tiva with this. She came back with. I want to ask the question. How often is it that you don't give them the opportunity to even get to know that person.
Mhm.
I mean, like I say, that your ideal person could be right there in front of you, because a lot of times what we do, we always looking for we look for outward love. We look for outward love when
Mm-hmm.
what we really need is already inside of us. Now we just have to connect to that right person and let it blossom. Tifa, what's on your heart?
You know what? I guess I agree with her. Usually it's really what's in the person's eyes, for how they view the person. You know,
Mhm.
most of the time it's not based on looks, like she was saying. It's about the personality. What do you have to bring to the table? How is your conversation? You know what I'm saying? Because looks is not everything. You know, not for me, anyways. And
Mhm.
usually a person will turn me off real fast just by what comes out their mouth. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Have something to talk about. Have a career. Have something. You know, don't be living in your mama's bedroom, or extra room or something like that. Have something going on for yourself, because that's a huge turn off. On top of not having looks, but you know what I'm saying. So just have something to bring to the table.
So ain't got nothing, ain't
That's
bringing
it.
nothing to the table, and they ugly, and it's a wrap, huh?
Well, no, not really. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Not drop dead ugly. You know what I'm saying? If you
Mhm.
ugly and I'm embarrassed to walk around town with you, I don't want to be seen in the store with you, that's ugly. And
Mm.
I'm not gonna date you anyway. You know what I'm
But
saying? I want to
but
be
they got
able
stuff
to
like
look at you and feel like, you're attractive in some type of way. Not, you don't have to be like fine, super fine, but be lookable.
don't scare you when you wake up in the morning.
Exactly.
Don't Sharon, what's up?
And don't
Hold
be
on,
broke.
oh Lord, gotta have the job if you wanna. Kurt, what's on your heart, brother? We got 2 minutes. What's on your heart?
Nothing, man. I try. Well, I'm married now, so
Hmm.
I stay to myself, Jack. But
Yeah.
when I was out there, for real, even when I was out there like that and getting me, doing me, whatever you want to call it, like I never, all of that big booty and big breasts and all, man, that never really turned me on.
What about the baby hair?
You know what I'm saying? Because bro, I done had the opportunity where I got a chick. She got big booty, she got big breasts, she pretty in the face, but she ain't nothing in the waist,
Hmm. But did
and
she?
she ain't got
But
nothing in her head. So
you never answered
I'm
me.
like,
But did she have that baby hair?
huh? She had it all, baby had a whole nine,
Mm.
but everything else was just she was empty. So I mean, as a man, I don't want to be with no empty woman.
Hmm.
I don't want to be with no woman that don't have no direction.
Yeah.
She just ratchet just because. No, man, ratchetness deserve. You need to have a reason to be ratchet. That means we might go to jail. Are you gonna
Hmm.
pay my bail? Are you gonna put money on my books? No, your brain too empty to even figure out how to get downtown to the damn jail to put money on the books.
Hmm.
No, man. Like I used to tell my homeboys, like, hey, listen, man, if I'm gonna get in it like that, then I got to have keeping it 100. I got to have I got to have something I can build with, bro. Like
Hmm.
I got to feel a sense of accomplishment. Call that my male prowess or call it what you want to call it. But I realistically don't want to lay with no chick because she got a nice body, nice hair, nice boobs, this, that, and the third.
Hmm.
But I know Tommy, I know Jimmy, Joe, John, Luke, all them, they done lay with her. Now I ain't accomplished nothing.
No, no, no. And my uncle always told me
What's
we
the
were we get
reward?
we got to get out of here, man. But my uncle always told me growing up, he said, "Look here, boy, don't you never bring no beautiful fool home. Don't bring no beautiful fool."
Mm-hmm.
And that's something, he told me that when I first started dating. Don't you bring no beautiful fools here. And so that stuck with me, man. She gotta have something. She gotta have something. Listen, it's been a great broadcast, great conversation. Anybody have anything before we get out of here?
Now we good.
Everybody good? Everybody good? Okay. Pandora, pray us out, sis. You knew I was coming. Look, you had the last 3 weeks off, so I know you got a prayer on you. You don't had the last 3 weeks off now.
What I tell you, Sharon?
I know it.
Look at, I wasn't gonna say that. I wait till the end to say something. But you don't had the 3 weeks off now. Good Lord, I know you got some kind of prayer. You've been off 3 weeks. Good Lord. Thank you, Jesus, or something.
Dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for a wonderful broadcast. Thank you for bringing us together and being able for all of us to fellowship and just do this broadcast and speak intelligently and from the heart about the subject that we were given. Thank you, Lord, for family and friends. I see that we're all here, so we had a wonderful weekend, a safe weekend, and I hope we all in our respective states continue to be safe, continue to enjoy our family, our friends, because tomorrow is never promised. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Man, go ahead, preacher. Go ahead, preacher. Good, the preacher. Hey, pass the plate, pass the plate. It's time for collection, y'all. We want the kind of fold.
You know what?
We don't want no jingle.
I told Sharon said, "Are you available?" I said, "Yes." I'm not gonna get in trouble.
Look, been off 3 weeks, man. I'm so sad, man. Hold on. See, the family's complete now. It's good to have you back, sis. I tell you, boy, you can't be doing that now. We're not gonna pay you for being off. We're not going. You're not getting paid for being off now. We don't do that.
God.
We ain't got that compensation plan around here. We ain't got that plan.
No, last week was a spur of the moment thing. I had to take somebody out of town real quick, but when she called me, I was like, "Oh my God, we're not back in time."
Mm-hmm. See, but you've been off for 3 weeks, almost a month. I'm just paying. You ain't been off that long. Listen, it's time for us to get out of here. It's 7:03. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. Then I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Only One Truth for being a part of your evening. It is now 7:07. You're about to exit Only One Truth. But before you go, I want you to do me 2 favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number 2, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you'll never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. We shine some of this light in from Only One Truth, take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light still shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Love you. Take care of each other and have a great day.
And have a good weekend.